Hello everyone, this is Kim with Abundant Life Tarot, and we are doing our December monthly Astro Tarot and Oracle readings for all 12 signs. And yay, we made it. It's to December. We are looking at the overall overarching energies that will be affecting our December and how we can work best with those energies. The deck that I'm going to be using as my main course is the Celtic Tarot, and we'll be letting the Mildred Payne have a little rest for a moment. And again, this will just be a focus mostly on not love, but life. If we see some things come up in the tarot about love, I'll mention it. But I'm moving towards having general readings here on YouTube, and then on my website, you'll be able to get more specifics for your signs. Like for monthlies, it'll be monthly love readings for, Aries, or, maybe the Cancers are interested in their career readings for the month. So it's going to be more going on my website with regards to the specific sign, like categories. But for a general reading, for all that we're doing right here, right now, is our life reading, and that's more than enough to discuss, as we know. All right, you all, I have time-stamped them like I usually do, so just check out the description box for your sign, or maybe your lover sign, or your relative or friend sign, or check out your moon sign or your rising sign to get a more complete picture with your sun sign. So I hope you enjoy this. I wish you so much love, so many blessings. Oh, before I go, I also want to say a big sorry and a big thank you to my Pisces, Scorpios, and Cancers, where I was having some terrible issues with my microphone for the November readings, and you all so kindly let me know that the sound was not on point, and I re-recorded them. So I just want to thank you for letting me know. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for watching these videos. So sending you so much love, many blessings, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Hello, Cancers. This is your December Life, Love, and Abundance Tarot and Oracle reading, and we are working with tarot this month. We're giving the Mildred Payne a break. All right, so let's get started. We're going to first look at the overall overarching energies that are surrounding Cancers in the month of December. Okay. Any other messages, Cancer, for December? The overall, we're looking for the overall overarching energies for Cancers. Okay. Lately it's been these massively long messages, even though I have the best intentions to keep it short and sweet. Playfulness, withdrawal, disappointment, confront, and indecision. Okay, so a lot of interesting themes going on this month. So we'll look and see how they play out against the tarot and the other oracles in this reading. So I'm going to lay out all the cards first before we get into the reading of these particular cards. Spirit, for the month of December, what do Cancers need to surrender in order to have a really great month? What do they need to surrender? I mean, or what could they choose to surrender? Surrender to silence. Interesting. Any other messages for Cancers? surrender to spirit. And surrender to joy. Okay, we like that. We like that. All right, now we're going to move on to the tarot reading. What, for the month of December, for Cancers, what will they be confronting, or what do they need to confront in the month of December in life, love, and or abundance? For our tarot friends, Page of Wands. Okay. What will Cancers in life, love, and abundance be confronting in the month as King of Wands? In the month of December. Okay, Ace of Pentacles, Five of Cauldrons. Anything else, Spirit? All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. What tools will Cancers be utilizing in the month of December? Okay. 2 of Shields. Queen of Wands. Beautiful. What tools for our Cancer friends will they be utilizing? Oh, the Fool card. We love the Fool card in the reading. Alrighty. I'm going to go with this one, and the rest were a fumble because it's more than 2 or 3. Then for me, then it's just a clumsy fumble. All right, and then, oh, okay. Thank you, Spirit. I was going to ask, what is the outcome? Because what are the takeaway messages for Cancers in the month of December? What will you be leaving behind in December? What will you be taking with you into January and beyond? What's the takeaways here? What's the outcome? Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. All right. What a beautiful spread so far. And then a closing message for our Cancer friends. Spirit, what message for the month of December do you really want to leave with Cancers, tying up this reading? As we will take a look at the meaning and the guidebook. The unexpected. Beautiful. Alright, let's stick that over here. Have you noticed I've got a lot more room now that the books are gone? I'm so excited that my husband finally built the bookshelf, and I'm so excited because now I have space to spread out. Excuse me as I sip some tea. So we have room to spread out now, and it's delicious. All right, let's get started. So as you guys know, I always like to start off with the overall overarching energies that we will be working through in the month of December. And so for our Cancer friends, how those energies are hitting you is there's playfulness, and there's a desire for you to have playfulness, a need for you to have playfulness. But then right sitting next to it is the withdrawal card, followed by disappointment, confront, and indecision. And so I just feel like this is like a stair step here. The playfulness card, let's take a close look at this for a moment. I feel like this is saying, you know, you want to be playful, you kind of struggle with wanting to be out there in the world, hanging out with friends, connecting with people that you love and you want to connect with. And then you also struggle with withdrawing for a variety of reasons. It could be out of necessity, out of family obligation that you're withdrawing. It could be out of just simply needing to be away from people. It could be that maybe you work from home predominantly. Perhaps maybe you have had to withdraw because of health issues, or other people around you have had health issues. So there's also a sense that for some of you, in order to have more playfulness in your life, you will have to withdraw. While others, this card is saying, no, Cancers, you need to not withdraw. If you're trying to have a playful time in December, you're going to have to not withdraw. Nevertheless, these are overarching energies. So we also have sitting here is disappointment. Something coming up in the month of December that feels like a disappointment. Maybe someone doesn't come through for you. Maybe a friend lets you down. Maybe a partner lets you down. Maybe kids, their report cards let you down. You're disappointed. Maybe your company that you work for is letting you down, or the results from your own business are not as what you hope. So there's some disappointment there. We see the disappointment also in the Five of Cups here, the Five of Cauldrons. So, don't be discouraged by the disappointment card. We'll talk more about that in a moment when we look closely at the Five of Cups. But it's just a time for you to look a little bit closer at what it is that you're disappointed about. What truly are you disappointed about? And is it really what it is that you thought it was going into the situation? Or is it now something else that's really bugging you? You need to get to the bottom of what's bugging you. How you do that is by surrendering to silence. Sitting underneath the withdrawal card and disappointment card I find interesting is the surrender to silence. This card says, in quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. So this card is an invitation for many of you to go within. You will salvage some of your playfulness by the midpoint to the end point of the month. But there's just this big overarching energy that's going to come in, and you will just feel this draw to withdraw. And it could be as a result of disappointments. You could also be disappointed with the behaviors in your partner, your love relationships, or the lack thereof. Maybe you don't have any relationships. You feel like you've been withdrawn too long, and now you're ready to get out there. Now you're ready to confront what it is that's been disappointing you. And you realize that the root of what's really been disappointing you, Cancers, what's really been bothering the hell out of you, is indecision. What's really causing the disappointment, whether it's even with people, even what is perceived to be outside of you, it's still indecision about you, how you want to feel about a situation, about how you want to feel or look at something. For example, if it was your kids making poor grades, you're not sure how to look at it. You're not sure how to process it. So the disappointment is to compound it by the fact that, of the actions that they did that led you to the disappointment, but also it's even more of an issue because you're not quite sure how to deal with it. Or, a love relationship, there's indecision there, but you have to confront that indecision in order to move forward. And I get a sense, looking at this spread, for many of you, there will be some confrontation, but for many of you, there will be a lot of introspection and not a lot of confrontation or going out or trying to deal with the issue with the other person involved. It's going to be you kind of dealing within, or maybe dealing with on a one-on-one basis. And so, with regards to your reading, what you will be confronting in October and December, you have the Page of Wands. So embarking out, initially at the start of the month, embarking out on a playful, fun, adventurous journey on pursuing your creative passion, on pursuing maybe even some lusty endeavors, maybe flirting with someone new, maybe rekindling a relationship, maybe stirring up some old good feelings with your current partner, or perhaps with creative endeavors, maybe exploring, researching about starting a business, researching about going back to school, researching about maybe creating something, writing a book, creating an art piece, creating a oracle deck. But just embarking, setting off on that journey, and it makes you feel playful, you feel excited, you feel joyful to do it. King of Wands shows that by the end of the month, what you're confronting is, at the beginning of the month, you were the spark, the newness with the page starting out on his or her journey on to new beginnings in the creative, fiery passion pursuits. But then by the end of the month, we see that you're confronted with actually accomplishing some goals, some short-term goals that you've set for yourself, some setting of new goals, some surrendering to joy, some, excitement about what it is you're creating and executing and directing. It's a time of joy for you. It says a key to positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling. During both the hard and easy times, keep surrendering to more joy. And right along sitting between the surrender to silence and surrender to joy is surrender to spirit, which states once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. So in this scenario, where you're working on a creative pursuit or even a new, lusty relationship, you are surrendering to spirit. You're like, at some point in the middle of the month, you're like, I'm so busy or I'm so frustrated. I surrender this over to spirit. I allow spirit to do what it do. I'll focus instead on my joy. I'll focus instead on this period of hermit time and get, and fill my time with that and allow spirit to work on whatever it needs to work on for this project to get up off the ground, or for this love relationship to get off the ground. And you allow it. And it's a beautiful place to be, because many of you have not always easily have been able to let go of the reins, give them to someone else to tackle, to give it over to spirit to tackle. You just try to tackle it on your own, like the boss king of wands that you are. But sometimes the newbie in us, we need to, take a step back, ask for advice, take a step back, assess, take a step back, look at where we're at and where we're trying to go. Also, what we've got going on in the month of December for our Cancer friends is Ace of Shields. So aces are about new beginnings. Shields are pentacles. That's what the associated Rider-Waite-Smith depiction is. Ace of Shields. And the shields or the pentacles deals with earthly matters, the matters of the body and wellness, the matters of the family and actual, the dynamic of the home and the house, and it's your career, and it's your job, and it's your building that you work in. It's the structure that you create for yourself in terms of being able to set up a financial budget. But this is new beginnings. So for some of you, this could be moving into a new spot. This could be moving into a new kind of dynamic with your partner, whether you guys are having a new beginning and going on to divorce, having a new beginning in terms of solidifying a relationship, having a new beginning in letting go of fighting and moving towards a future of working on a common goal of building a financial future together. But oftentimes when I see this card, this is like, a new business you're sparking up and starting finally, sitting next to the page or the wands. Definitely I get a sense of that, finally taking those first steps, having some new opportunities to move, maybe move office, move from working from home to working in an office, or from working in an office to working from home. But nevertheless, some new beginnings happening for you in your resources house. And then we also, in December, for our Cancer friends, we have 5 of Cups or 5 of Cauldrons. And this is the disappointment card. So when we see this card come up, this is speaking to being disappointed. Something happening in December that disappoints you. Maybe you're not able to provide Christmas like you wanted to. Maybe you're disappointed in what your partner is able to do for the family and for you. Maybe you're upset and disappointed over a broken promise by your employer. Whatever the case may be, ultimately you are going to confront and deal with the issue. But right now in December, you just kind of have a season of like, woe is me, a little bit sad about something. And again, I get a strong sense that at the heart of your disappointment, at the heart of the matter, is a lack of not being able to confront someone, and the lack of indecision surrounding a particular situation that you're going through. That's what I get a sense of, and why it has become now an overarching energy for you. This disappointment could, like I said, be in all those different areas that I mentioned that before, including love, disappointment in, broken dates, where you feel like you have been, ditched, or just not valued. This could be in jobs. This could be in a business that you're trying to start. And it could be so disappointing that you are not able to see the blessings that are actually still very much on the table, still very much around you. So, look for that, and look for the opportunity to see a blessing. Because whatever it is that comes to you that's going to be a disappointment actually is truly a blessing. You just can't see it at this point. Your back is turned to the blessing in order to see it. So just remember that when you feel disappointment, you feel a little hopeless about something, turn your perspective around, turn around and look at the abundance that you already have, and you will see, you will get the clues and the answers to your questions. Your indecision will loosen up. Things will become clear on what you need to do. I say that because we have the 2 of Shields in the Tools position. In the Tools position, the 2 of Pentacles is telling me that you are choosing to juggle and choosing to have to make decisions. But nevertheless, you are choosing and you are making decisions and you are being decisive in December. Whereas before, maybe you have been decisive, then you went through a period of kind of waffling, kind of struggling all the time to make a decision, to make a move, to know what to do next, to know what balls to throw up in the air and what to let go of. And now in the Tools position, it shows that you are carefully analyzing that. You are surrendering to silence. Sometimes you don't ask other people. You just figure it out on your own. But this is a tool that you start to cultivate in December. I love how, we have the Queen of Wands sitting next to this 2 of Shields, and the Queen of Wands sitting underneath the King of Wands, and across from the Page of Wands, and next to the Fool. And it's saying, you know what, I think you're going to surrender to joy. You're going to surrender to nurturing your creative endeavors and passions. The queens are all about nurturing and fostering and allowing and receiving what it is you're trying to receive, but also allowing it in. And so you are in just a place where you're surrendering to spirit, you're listening to yourself, you're listening to your inner self, you're confronting that indecision about what to do next, and you're actually starting to make some moves now. You're starting to shift into going forward. and you are taking a leap of faith. This card in the Tool position is a powerful tool because it's giving you the advice about a particular situation or question in your mind on what you should do about it. And this card, with the Fool card being in the Tools position, is saying, do it. Take the chance, take the leap. You will reap benefits from it. It would behoove you to do it. If you don't do it, there's some risks that come with not doing something. Just like there's risks that inherently come with doing something, sometimes there's risks of not being happy, not being fulfilled, not being able to move forward if you don't take this step. For example, if you're in a job, try not to make this too much long-winded. If you're in a job where you are not satisfied and you stay and you stay and you stay, and then you get this card in the Tools position, you've been wondering if you should leave the company, then the Tools position is saying yes. If there's a new opportunity coming on that suits you better, it's time to take that leap and to be like the Fool and go and jump. You've got the Father card sitting next to the Fool card, which is asserting success for you. So that's exciting, Cancers. That's exciting that you have this ability this month to be able to assess what it is that needs to be done, to formulate a plan, to execute that plan like the Father does and can, and only the way that the Father or the Emperor could. So that's exciting as well. In terms of the outcome cards, you have some interesting stuff going on. So Seven of Cups is all about getting ready to make some choices, having choices before you to choose from in terms of what will lead you most to emotional fulfillment. So in December, there will be plenty of opportunities for you to confront that, to confront the indecisions that's going on inside of you, and to really know where it's time to go and when it's time to go. You've got the Nine of Wands sitting here. You've been carrying some burdens. Not sure if you can make it, not sure if you should continue on. You are beaten, battered, and tired at times. Disappointed for sure. And just, yeah, it's causing you to want to pull back from others because you've been carrying their weight, and try not to be a martyr about the situation, but, it's a lot. So these energies, I get a sense that may end up carrying forth into January and beyond, only because dealing with this stuff is going to be a month over month process. It's not going to be something overnight. We have the Tower card. The Tower card is about major transition, something happening, turning upside down, like taking the box that had all your doll furniture sitting nice and neat, and then taking that box and turning it upside down, and then you look and you're like, oh my gosh, everything is in disarray. That's the Tower card. There's something that's coming in that will happen in December, and then potentially have lasting effects going into the following year. And again, we have indecision. Hopefully indecision is not something that happens too much for you. I'm hoping I'm hoping that this is not something that's a big old theme for you where you have that going, because naturally when you have a Tower, maybe it's a breakup. So for some of you, it's a breakup. For some of you, it could be getting terminated from a job. Others could be leaving the job and say, I can't take anymore, and I don't care what happens. I don't care if this goes topsy-turvy. This could be a health issue arising. This could be someone else who you leaned on as your rock, not being able to be your rock anymore. And you've been faced with some unexpected decisions that you have to make that you weren't prepared to make. Let's take a look at the guidebook here to close out the reading. We have the unexpected 43. Let's see. All right, it says the unexpected. No matter how well you plan, there is always room for the unexpected to occur. Build your resilience as rare occurrences can happen. A visitor you have not seen in a long time may re-enter your life. Nice. An old farmer's almanac. Oh, and here's an affirmation. I trust in myself and in life. In an old farmer's just can't even talk. In old farmer's almanacs, a blue moon was described as the third full moon in a season that has 4 moons. The newer and more accepted descriptions that a blue moon is when there are 2 full moons in 1 calendar month. Either way, it is a rare occurrence and has inspired the saying once in a blue moon, because this event rarely happens, or behavior rarely happens. So some of us love surprises, some of us don't. But I don't think anyone can go through life without sometimes having the unexpected happen to them. While some professions in particular, such as the military and medicine, try to plan for everything that could go wrong, life sometimes finds a way to outsmart the most thorough of plans. This is simply life. Although it is important for us to know where, how, and why we are traveling down a particular path, we should always make room for and expect the unexpected. Yes. And so the advice here they have, try to take clear practical steps towards these big, seemingly faraway intentions and help the universe along. So again, these unexpected things happen, whether it's in your business, your love life, your regular life. Just go with the flow and see that it's not all for naught. There is a blessing here. You just can't see it yet, but maybe you're not ready to see it yet. But when you are finally ready to see it yet, you'll be able to transition and move in a bigger and much more profound way. All right, Cancers, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. It's always a pleasure doing readings for you. Thank you for watching. Much love, many blessings. Hello, Leos. This is your monthly December Life, Love, and Abundance Tarot and Oracle reading. And yep, that's right. We're going to have the main feature as Tarot this month with the Celtic Tarot versus the Mildred Payne. Just changing it up a little bit. So let's take a look first at the overall overarching energies for the month of December for Leos. What's coming up? Ooh, celebrate. That's nice. Oh, I have these upside down. What's going on? Renewal. So you've got celebrate, change, doubt, and renewal. Nice. Stick these over here for a moment. Look at for the month of December. What do Leos need to surrender to have a great month? Thank you, Spirit. Surrender frustration. We'll read all the cards in a moment after we lay them out. Surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. We'll look at that closely in a moment. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. Okay. Right. Now let's do the tarot spread that we do for the monthly readings. We want to first ask Spirit, what do Leos need to confront, or what will they be confronting in the month obscene one. King of Cups. Children, cover your eyes. Don't watch anymore. This deck has a little bit of nudity. This is the Chariot. Page of Cauldrons. Oh. Okay. You have quite the reading going on this month. Kind of excited for you. So these are the cards that are talking about what's happening throughout the month of December. And we've got the King of Cups, the Chariot, the Page of Cauldrons, the Eight of Swords, and the Two of Cauldrons. Okay. What tools will Leos be utilizing in the month of December? What tools will they be utilizing? What tools should they use? Yeah, the Lovers. Ooh, interesting. Got some cool stuff going on. Leo, kind of excited about your reading. What other tools, Spirit? Oh, the Magician. Got some major art going on. Ooh, okay. Oh, look, the Hanged Man. My goodness. These are major energies that you're going to be working with. We have the King of Shields. Ten of Wands. It's going to be a big reading spread. Sorry, guys. I tried to keep this as short as possible with just a overall life reading. But, of course, Spirit has a lot to say to you. All right, so these are the outcome cards. This is what you will be, like, what's the takeaways for December, what you will either be leaving behind in December or taking forth into January. We have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. So, Spirit, what will Leo's in life, love, and abundance? Okay. We're just going to go with that. We're going to go with that because, well, because that's what we're going to do. I don't normally take that many cards. I usually think that's like, oh, it's a sign that I've fumbled, but I don't get a sense of that. I really get a sense that Spirit wanted me to throw those down. And you have, in the outcome cards, Seven of Swords, Six of Swords, the World, Justice, Two of Swords, and the Fool. And then finally a nice tying up message, closing message from Spirit to Leo or those who love Leos. What message do you have? Growth. And that is the Waxing Crescent 3 of the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Okay. Let me just take a moment and take some in my tea. Get this all going here. So, you know, I like to first start off with the overall overarching energies of the month for you, for Leos. This month we've got celebrate, we've got change, we've got some doubts here, and that's not a surprise because there's Eight of Swords sitting here in your reading in the month of December. So that just tells me that you've got some doubts about something going on, maybe a new relationship that's sprung up, that's changing how you look at life, how you're feeling about your life, how you're feeling about yourself. You're wondering if this is too good to be true. And so you have some doubts about a particular situation. With that being said, I don't know if these are really founded doubts because it's really kind of isolated. This is really And it shows up a little bit again in the Two of Swords in the outcome position. But honestly, I mean, it's not, I mean, there's a few things here to be aware of what's going on, but overall, this is a solid, positive reading overall. So these may be unfounded doubts, but we'll look more into the cards. There's things to celebrate this month. So maybe you'll be attending some Christmas or holiday parties or New Year's parties. Perhaps maybe you are celebrating a milestone in your life. Not a birthday, but someone else's birthday, and you are hosting the party. Or maybe there's some charity event. There's just times to celebrating a change happening, a retirement party, a moving on to a new job or going to college. And that could be also where these healthy doubts sometimes come from. Sometimes there's unhealthy doubts, and then there's healthy doubts where you're like, am I going to be okay? Is this all going to work out? I'm not so sure about this. That's healthy and to be expected. When doubt turns into something else, it can turn into, too much anxiety, not really trusting yourself and trusting in source in the process. So it can turn into something entirely different. Obsessive even. You don't want that. It's one thing to have healthy doubts, but it's a whole nother thing to let it consume you. It could be a change in a relationship. It looks like to me, it could be celebrating an engagement, celebrating of a relationship coming to be, because we have here the Two of Cauldrons with the celebrate and change. These are like two soulmates coming up together, or, starting that journey together in love. So perhaps some of you are doing that, while others of you are maybe celebrating an engagement or a deepening of the commitment, maybe celebrating a housewarming together, of moving in together. Things moving quickly and changing rapidly for you. We have the King of Cups or Cauldrons, along with the Page of Cauldrons, the Two of Cauldrons, a lot of cups energy into what's happening this month. So there's a lot of big love themes going on. For the most part, you're really able to master your emotions this month. Bravo to you, Leo. Don't let your emotions get too out of control, as we see with the King of Cups. The King of Cups energy is definitely about executing things that bring more emotional fulfillment and balance to our life. And that could also represent a King of Cups in your life, whether it is a mate or someone who's a good friend. They will be helping you to celebrate. Maybe they are the reason you're celebrating. I don't know. The Chariot is rushing through, and it's funny because look, rushing through on the Chariot, she's dancing on this car, and I just instantly see the correlation between the two. You're celebrating something. The Chariot is typically a more favorable card where you are going towards celebrating something. And it's a big celebration of sorts. Maybe it's a change of a new environment. And you're having doubts about if you're going to be okay. When it's all said and done, with the renewal card sitting here, I say, I think you're going to just be fine. You're going to have a renewal about yourself. You're going to be feeling a sense of renewal. And that's beautiful. There's some advice here in the tools here. This is like tools. That's going on in the month of December. So, but first, you have here surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. So there may be times this month where you're frustrated. Maybe you're frustrated at your job. You're frustrated with a relationship. Doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship, or it could be for some of you. And you feeling like you need to fix the situation, fix them, fix whatever it is that's bothering you. But the Spirit is advising you to surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. So once you get a hold of that notion, Leos, things start to fall into place. Things start to work out. And you are able to accept your partner for who they are, take them as they are, help them when they ask. When they don't, you have to bite your tongue sometimes. And if you can't bite your tongue, well, you may have to express some frustration. But again, you can't stay in a holding place of frustration if you're trying to have a beautiful love connection, if you're trying to have a wonderful work connection. You can't hold on to grudges and frustration. Let's move into the tools position, because I think this is also what's talking about this card here. We have the Lovers and the Magician sitting next to one another in the tools position. The Lovers is saying to choose love, to choose what you love, to choose to pursue what you love. Go after what it is that fulfills your heart and soul. Be there for your partner this month. Listen to them, take them as who they are. Realize that you cannot change them, that you cannot fix them. They have to come into their own. When you do this, you start to work on the magic of what you have power over, and that is wonderful. It says surrender to your intuition. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So the Magician is about tapping into that intuition, tapping into that knowing what your partner needs, knowing what your boss needs, just being able to be in synergy and in connection, and feeling like that soulmate connection, whether it's with a friend, whether it's with a lover, whether it's with a business partner, it doesn't matter. You have a sense this month of a new perspective with the Hanged Man. And you have new perspectives, new beginnings, and things happening. So for some of you, getting good news about a potential hookup, or someone who wants you to meet someone, new beginnings in pursuing an opportunity that you've been wanting to do, such as maybe adopting a child or an animal or pet, I should say. Perhaps a new beginning in love, in a relationship. We have these two sitting here. So you're having a new perspective with the Hanged Man. And you're starting to see that maybe love has been all around you all along. And that, a certain person that, for example, if you're, dating and you dated someone and they don't seem very emotionally available to you, you keep chasing them. Meanwhile, there's someone over here that's been your friend, that's been there all along. You have a new perspective and you see them in a new light. And then the whole world opens up, sitting under here in the outcome cards. World of love and connection. And just a deep sense of commitment, a deep sense of connection, a deep sense of oneness. And that's because you've taken the time to gain a new perspective, to surrender your frustration, just to chill and go with the flow, to surrender to your intuition. These cards are definitely about surrendering to your intuition and realizing your magical powers. And if you really want someone to change, you have to first be the change that you wish to see in others. That's just what it is. So you have to work on yourself. So your magical power is doing just that. Also in the tools position, we have the King of Shields. So the King of Pentacles. So managing your finances this month is very crucial. Budgeting, not overspending, being someone who is patient, methodical, trustworthy. This could represent you working with someone. If someone is wanting to help you, and they embody this, whether it's male or female. This King of Pentacles is helpful to whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever may be causing you a great source of anxiety. Perhaps it's a great source of anxiety surrounding your finances, and perhaps this is an accountant or a father figure who has got a good business sense or business head about himself, who's resourceful. This is about you being resourceful, tapping into things to get you to the next place that you need to be, to have growth happening, to foster growth. That's what the King of Pentacles is also about. So being in a receptive place of being able to be receptive, but also to go after and achieve building your home, working on your career, taking the time this month to really think about your 2019 goals, and then executing small goals to big goals. And then surrendering burdens that really do not belong to you. The Ten of Wands in the Tools position is about, hey, you've been carrying a load that really belongs to someone else. Again, surrendering the idea you can fix someone else, whether it's a boss, whether that's a brother, a sister, a lover, a husband, a wife, a mother, all of that. It's time to surrender it, especially this month. Things are going to be busy for you, hectic this month. You're going to have to prioritize and lay some of this load down so you can continue on your path. All right, so let's move into the outcome cards. We have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords in the outcome cards is telling me that, there may feel like, you may feel like there's something being taken away from you, or something that has been taken away from you. Or you may even feel like you've been getting away with something, or maybe both. Maybe it's a situation of both. And it just doesn't feel so good and feels so great. And it's also what could be stemming some doubts about how you feel about a particular situation. How you alleviate that, again, is by listening to your intuition and surrendering the idea that you can fix anything. Only being able to fix what's going on with you. You can't fix what's going on with others. Even if they're robbing you, you can't still control their actions. You only control how you can respond to it, how you can move forward from that. If you feel like a job is taking from you and using you up, if you feel like a mate is using you up and stealing from you and not doing right by you, then you need to change that situation. You need to move forward and go on to better, smoother waters, as we see in the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is saying that many of you will realize this and will say, in 2019, I'm going to have a new beginning in an emotionally fulfilling job. Not just financially fulfilling, that's going to come because I'm going to get my resume together. I'm going to get my cover letter together with the King of Shields energy here. I'm going to only send out to places that I'm really called to emotionally feeling uplifted and happy about when I look at their ad online, etc. You know what I mean? So, or dating, for example. I'm only going to date folks who really align with how I'm going and how I'm feeling. I've got, I'm at the higher vibrational energy. I need someone to be there with me, not someone lower and bringing me down with them. No. Some of you are literally planning a trip or going on a trip and going over waters, whether you're flying, going by boat, going by bridge. Some of you, though, will be traveling in December and or planning a trip for 2019 in December, which is exciting. As a world trip to even perhaps go, take a world trip even to go see some part of the world. Maybe that's some of you doing it in December, while others may be actively starting your plans to travel abroad in December. And just really getting a sense of feeling like you're renewed, you're happy, you're complete. You feel solid at the end of December going into January in 2019. You feel like you can take a leap of faith, go off on a new adventure, a new job opportunity that may come up at the end of the month, or you just now really ready to go off and try something new. For some of you, you're ready to go ahead and explore developing a relationship with a particular someone, or maybe you're ready to start dating again, whereas you weren't really ready before. So that's awesome. We also have the Justice card sitting next to the Two of Swords, which sometimes they can look a little similar. Again, there's some indecision that's happening here. So not being able to see what you really need to see, or what you feel you need to see in order to make a decision. But the Justice card sitting next to this card is telling me that things will work out just fine. You need to listen to surrender to your intuition. Let's read that again. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. You may not always be able to see the path ahead of you. You may not always be able to know. You may have doubts along the way, but the Justice card assures that things will work out just fine as they need to be. And you just have to trust in the system, in the process, in the universal laws, that things will work out, and that you're just going to not have all the answers before you make decisions. But one thing is certain: when you're making decisions this month in December, Leos, make sure you're not collecting back up people's baggage or other people's issues, whether it's a partner's issues, whether it's a loved one's issues, family, coworkers, friends, anyone. You don't have the energy or the time, because you've got some wonderful Fool energy that's happening in the month of December. Taking a leap, having some growth happening, okay? So we have the Waxing Crescent 3, growth. And I'm going to close out the reading, read an excerpt from this particular card. So I love these cards right now, and I'm getting to know them. Growth. I choose growth as the affirmation. And it says, reject stagnancy. To get unstuck, take action. The choice to grow should be made. Expect growing pains when making huge changes in your life. Change is a natural part of life and cannot be pushed against forever. Change should have aim and purpose. Be courageous. You will blossom, just like this beautiful image here. You will blossom, my dears. Let's see. I like this part. It says, the waxing lunar cycle calls for growth, but not growth without aim or purpose. When we understand our current position, accept it, and decide to change, we will naturally grow as people. We might experience some growing pains. After all, transformation of any kind is rarely completely easy and trouble-free. Having a strong intention of what the results of our goal or growth will be helps with gaining the courage and resilience to move forward with our growth and into the eventual blossoming of our true self. And so it is. All right, blessed be, my lovely souls. Thank you so, so much for watching. Much love, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye. Hello, Virgos. Let's get right on into it. We are doing your monthly December Life, Love, and Abundance Tarot and Oracle reading. And yes, we are working with tarot this month. We are giving the Mildred Payne a little break. And let's get started. We are looking at the overall overarching energies for Virgos for the month of December. Thank you, Spirit, for the divine messages. Give us every single month. renewal, wounds, dread, I have to scoop these over, move my little, sorry, taking a while, and the shadow. Okay, so we've got some shadow work we're working with this month, Virgos, but that's okay. To bring a sense of renewal. We'll read all the cards at once I'm done playing them out. All right, Spirit, what do Virgos need to surrender this month? What do they need to surrender in order to really have a wonderful, happy, planet life? Oh, okay. Surrender to setting limits. Surrender, denial. Okay. All right, Virgos, you got a lot of messages coming through. That's okay. And I don't know why I kept feeling the need to shuffle, but whatever. Here we are, shuffled. So we've got surrendering to setting limits, surrender denial, surrender your addictions, and surrender to the magic who you are. I love it. All right, I don't want you there. I don't want you there. Okie dokie. Let us now do the spread. What will our lovely Virgos be confronting in the month of December? We have Ace of Shields. Ooh, the Sun. That's good. What will Virgos be confronting in love? Hermits. 10 of Wands. What will Virgos be? Thank you, Spirit. Be confronting. Anything else? Okay. All right. What tools will Virgos be utilizing in the month of December? We've got the Queen of Cauldrons. We've got the Eight of Cauldrons. What tools? With the Queen of Shields. And we've got Equilibrium. Nice. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. All right, Spirit. What are the outcome cards? What will Virgos be receiving at the end of December? What will they be leaving behind in December? And what will they be taking forward into January and beyond? Ooh, strength. Knight of Wands. Ooh. Queen of Wands. Nice. Ace of Wands. So some work, shadow work you're doing definitely is going to pay off in the end of the month. So be happy and grateful for that. All right. So what's the final message, Spirit, from you to Virgos or those who love Virgos? What's the message that ties up all of these messages here? Nice and neat. Okay. Pleasure. Waning gibbous 2. We'll incorporate this card into the reading, but I'll also read from the guidebook an excerpt as I'm getting to know this deck. We'll get to know it together. All right, so I have all the cards out now. Let's get started. All right, so we have remembrance, renewal, wound, dread, and the shadow. And sitting underneath here is surrendering to setting limits, surrendering denial maybe about your addictions. And then ultimately what all this is leading to is surrendering to the magic of who you are. And I'm encouraged by the outcome cards here with the Strength, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, and Ace of Wands. It tells me that you will, you do understand the magic of who you are, and that by the end of the month going into January, all the shadow work that you're doing at the beginning and mid part of December, you'll be all right. You're going to be okay, and you're going to be starting off the new year strong, Virgos. So yay. Okay. But we look at remembrance. There's going to be something that comes up. Maybe an anniversary is someone's passing over. Maybe it's a remembrance of an old relationship that didn't work out. Or it's a remembrance of once being wealthy and now you're not. I mean, it could be a remembrance of anything. But it comes up. And at least it's something that comes up from the past. Whatever these wounds are, I get a sense that these are old wounds that still causes a sense of dread for you. Perhaps there's more family activities that are going to be coming up where you have to be around someone that you don't particularly care for. You're really having to deal with your shadow selves this month, Virgos, where you're really going to have to look deep inside at what's really going on with you and why you're doing the things that you're doing. We have here surrendering to setting limits. It is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. Okay, maybe there's guilt out of this remembrance. Something that is kind of holding you back. And what I'm encouraged by is the renewal card. The renewal is telling me, you did get through this, and you will continue to get through the shadow work of this process that you're going through. But first, you need to surrender denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are, without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Again, sometimes it's going to have to be just saying, you know what, I'm going to take things as it is. I'm not going to try to not look at it. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to take it for what it is, or take them for who they are. Surrender your addictions. Whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking, take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. Wow. So this could be you have some active wounds going on, and this is not helping. Okay. And this is tied to this, and you not being able to set limits is also probably part of the addictive part of the whole thing, relationship, codependent situation that may be going on here. Surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that come from just being you. It's beautiful. So at the end of all this renewal is here. And this here will become something as a part of your catalog of memories, of remembrances of once you had to do some shadow work and heal some old wounds that kept bringing up dread inside of you. But you realized you were denying some things, that you needed to set some healthy boundaries and limits with folks, that you surrendered some unhealthy addictions, and you surrendered to the magic of who you are. You worked through it. Now you're on the other side. That's what's going on, overarching, overall energies in the month of December for you, Virgos. Maybe, of course, not everyone. So if this isn't resonating with you, that's fine too. Maybe certain little bits will resonate with you than other bits, but that's okay if nothing resonates. This is just me taking you on a journey. All right, so then we move over to the tarot. So in the month of December, we have Ace of Shields. We've got new beginnings in maybe moving, new beginnings in maybe moving office spaces or cubicles, or, moving in together with a partner or roommate, or perhaps you are changing roommates or changing jobs or changing careers. You're starting out on a new career, a new job. So a lot of new things happening this month for you in terms of that, in terms of your career house, your resource house. We have the sun sitting there in the month of December. So I get a sense that the shadow work that you'll be doing in the month of December, probably towards the mid part of December, it's not going to color the whole month. It's not going to color your whole year. It is just something that's necessary for growth, for you to move forward, for you to have more pleasure in your life. This needs to happen, in other words. You need to start releasing baggage that you've collected over time as you walked on your path. You've been collecting other people's baggage, your own baggage, and you haven't been laying it down on the side of the road so you can travel a little bit lighter. You've been collecting it and collecting it and collecting it. And it's now become where you are in a place where you've got to now set some healthy limits and boundaries. So this month, there's going to be a point where you're going to realize you're taxed to the max. You can't go much further. People depend on you at work. People depend on you at home. But you haven't really been taking care of yourself like you should. You've been in denial. You've been maybe overeating, overindulging, and whatever. And it's this vicious cycle that's not healthy, and it's reopening the wounds, and you're not able to really move forward. So it's something, to look into there. Now we have the Justice card. So when it's all said and done, things are going to work out fine. Things are going to work out as they should. Things are going to be fair. Things are going to work out most likely in your favor. This card assures that once you've done the work, things will fall into place. People will do what they need to do without having to rely on you all the time. You're able to have some balance in your life, some feeling like you can really equitably give yourself to different things in your life, to your partner, to your business, to your employer, to your employees, to your friends, to your children, etc. It'll feel like, okay, you can judiciously do it a lot easier now that you've lifted some burdens. But at first, you will be carrying the burdens up until a point where you just can't do it anymore. So don't burn yourself out. Release the burden now before you burn yourself out and not make it to your goals of where you're trying to go. Tools positions of what you will be working with in terms of tools. We have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is saying, hey, it's time to be a vessel for love, be a receiver of love, be a receiver of renewal. Just be patient with yourself. The Queen of Cups, she's a patient queen. She's a loving queen, a forgiving queen. She fosters and nurtures growth and happiness and pleasure in life. And so that's what you should aim to do this month. Even if in little bits and pieces, even if you can only do it, like if you want to like surprise someone with a little gift and they weren't even expecting it and it was someone totally random, that could be something you do. It could be a small little kindness or act of kindness for your partner. It could be taking your partner on a date. It could be taking your children out for ice cream. It could be you bringing love to your projects that you've been working on, but definitely using that because it's helping to unleash the magic of who you are. Okay, then we have the Eight of Cauldrons. Eight of Cauldrons in the Tools position is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, people that no longer serve you, that is just bringing you, reopening your wounds, constantly forcing you to have to deal with your shadow self. Dealing with your shadow self, there are times when I will admit, I don't feel like dealing with it. Many of us don't, but there are times when you need to. This time, though, in the Tools position, it's saying, look, you don't deny that there's some issues here, but you now need to set your limits, walk away, go to higher ground, and that also is a part of the shadow work, going on that path alone. Breaking up with someone in a relationship or a friendship may be necessary. Queen of Shields, nurturing the home, maybe shifting your focus instead of, constantly being depressed, or instead of constantly in remembrance or grieving mode, you start to do a little nesting. You start to be like the Queen of Shields, making the home, the house a home, cooking more, being resourceful, maybe being a great steward of her finances. The Queen of Shields is one who, the Queen of Cups is one of bringing and ushering in love. The Queen of Shields is about bringing and ushering in the resources to feel stable, secure, and happy in that way. You can be happy and fulfilled, emotionally tickled and loved, and then you can also be feeling happy and fulfilled by feeling like you have everything that you need in place. So again, you're going to have to let go of some things. You're going to have to be a little bit more frugal. You're going to have to surrender certain addictions that's kind of draining you and your pocketbook. You're going to have to bring some balance. With the equilibrium, which is traditionally the temperance card. So this position, the Tools position, this is saying, hey, you need to balance your checkbook. You need to balance your budget. You need to watch what you're eating, bring in more water, watch the drinking, watch the over-consuming, watch the over-shopping this month. Be careful about that. Just really try to be as balanced and bring a balanced approach to everything and every interaction that you do this month. It is very critical for you. It will really help you as you navigate through the shadow work that you're dealing with, and that you're surrendering your addictions. Sometimes when we're in denial, it's because we're not setting healthy boundaries for ourselves and for others. We're not setting healthy boundaries about how long it is that we're going to mope and grieve until we start to get back with the land of the living, whether it's a broken relationship or the death of someone, whether it's surrendering your addictions because you can't surrender your denial, because you couldn't surrender setting limits for yourself and for others in your life. It's ultimately as a result because you've forgotten who you are. You are a divine being from God, from spirit, from, however you wish to believe. But you have magic. You are powerful. You are strong. You will remember this. This will be an energy that you carry forth into January and beyond, the Strength card. You are strong. There will be situations that call on your strength this month, and your strength will be tested. Your resolve will be tested, but in the end, you will rise above. Why? Because you moved and operated out of love, and you were resourceful, and you you reined some things in at the end of the month. Knight of Wands, you're starting to move towards your passion pursuits, what pleases you, what makes you happy. Someone could, in the love arena, for some who are single, the Knight of Wands signals that someone like the Knight of Wands could be galloping into your life, bringing that passion, bringing that creative love to the situation. But I get a sense that this is about you forging ahead, you starting to really set out on your goals. The Sun card is saying that, overall this month, you're going to be happy. You can still do shadow work and not be completely wounded and depressed all the time. You will have moments of dread, but that's because that last moment of dread is when you finally push through it and deal with it and end up towards the end of December really shining bright and being happy. We have the Queen of Wands next to the Knight of Wands, that progression of things really moving forward. You've got then back to the Ace of Wands, new beginnings in creative endeavors and pursuits. You just stepping out and taking a chance in starting, a blog, in starting a YouTube channel, in starting a business, or resuming your hobbies and interests, and, really supporting others and doing their thing as well. And it's this beautiful cycle of giving and receiving for you this month, Virgos. But at first, you're going to have to go through some things in order to get to the last weeks of December. And as you go into January, you're going to be taking forth all of these lovely energies, but you had to go through a few little things to get there. Let's take a quick gander at the Waning Gibbous 2 Pleasure card. I'm just going to read an excerpt from it. 18. All right. It says, are you taking life too intensely or too seriously? The time has come to call in the pleasures of life. Seek lightheartedness at this time. Focus on what would make you happy. Schedule in activities you find pleasurable. And the affirmation here is, I open myself to the pleasures of life. Okay. And it says here, a big part of pleasure is letting go. This does not mean surrendering or giving up. It simply means handing over all of our administration, stress, and worries for a time and immersing ourselves in something joyful. Sun card. When we don't allow ourselves to experience pleasure, whether in the form of laughter, play, sensuality, or the development of skills, we remain less than whole and feel a wanting. No fun actually makes us dull indeed. Over time, we are much less effective in our emotional and work lives if we do not experience regular doses of pleasure. Okay. So there you have it. You've got to recognize that pleasure is super important, but how you get your pleasure is also just as important. So be mindful of that. You don't want to just get cheap thrills. You want lasting, loving passion and pleasure. And that how you get there is by remembering who you are, the magic of who you are, being that Queen of Wands, where you are nurturing what really sets your heart afire, what really stirs your soul. If it is a hobby, do it. Do it every day if you can. If you can't, do it when you can. It could start off with something little and grow into something big. Many new beginnings will start to blossom all around because you channeled that Queen of Wands energy. All right, so that's what's happening this month, my lovelies. Thank you all so much for watching. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.